Rooted in the values of Unitarian Universalism, we covenant to be a congregation where people of all generations find meaning and purpose. We work to be a congregation that champions justice, advances equity, fosters transformation, embraces pluralism, lives in sacred interdependence, practices generosity and love, and nurtures future generations. Together, we strive to create a more compassionate, just, and sustainable world through collective action and shared ministry, committed to living our values and holding one another in covenant. We are so glad that you are with us today. We hope you find the service inspiring and meaningful.
Good morning. I am Dustin, and I am honored to serve as the congregation's worship associate today. A lit chalice is a symbol of our faith, and as Unitarian Universalists, connecting us across time and distance to a legacy of love, truth, and shared purpose. I'd like to invite Charlotte up here to light our chalice. As we light our chalice in the sanctuary, I invite those on Zoom to light a chalice or a candle and to type your location into the chat. Our chalice lighting and opening words today are inspired from a passage in the New Testament, Mark 10:13 through 16. Christ is healing people, and folks began bringing their children to him for him to bless. But the disciples, his well-meaning but often misguided students, rebuke them for doing so. And Christ, visibly annoyed, responds, "Let the little children come. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them. Whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter it." This has always struck me as one of the most powerful moments in religious history, a definite claim for the children. Across many wisdom traditions, we are reminded of the sacredness of the childlike perception, openness, wonder, and trust. So today, let us celebrate the children, and may we show them and remind ourselves that love is at the center.
Good morning. Our opening hymn today is sung as a round. So we will start out singing Through Together once, and then Jill will lead part one with the left side of the sanctuary, and I will lead part two with the second part of the or with the right hand side of the sanctuary. She's just gonna sing real loud. All right. So please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Would you please now join me in saying our covenant, which is on the screen and in your bulletin? Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And now let's say our covenant in Spanish. El amor es espíritu de esta iglesia, y el servicio de su ley, vivir unos en paz, buscar la verdad, el amor, y orarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Please be seated.
Good morning. Our congregation is a lively community with many opportunities to participate. Here are a few announcements for today, but please do check your order of service for more. On August 3rd, UUI is teaming up with Touchgrass Indy to host a repair cafe. Come out and bring any household items that have been well-loved and need fixing. Are you handy? Reach out to Sarah or Piero. This event is open to the community and kid-friendly, and we'll have a take-it-apart table, too. Join us August 10th for our annual water communion, followed by our Find Your Spot fair, where you can explore the many ways to get involved at UUI. Thank you.
Now let us enter the time in our service where we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another so they may be held in community. As the music plays, I invite people in the sanctuary to come up and drop a stone into the bowl if something is on your heart today. Please use both sides of the table. If you have written your joy or sorrow on a card, please leave it in a basket at the table and it will be read aloud. Please note that the cards are in the entrance to the sanctuary for easy pickup when you come in. For those on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat feature. Please put in all caps either joy or sorrow, plus your name and pronouns at the beginning of what you are sharing, if you'd like for me to read this out loud to the sanctuary. You can also symbolically drop a stone into the bowl by typing drop stone or just DS into the chat. Thank you. Sandra shares a joy and a sorrow. Her sister, Stella Sabina, is moving back home to Uganda. She led drum circles at Butler and other places. Her farewell party is today at 2 p.m. at Global Village off Lafayette Road. A joy from Mali. Going on a trip to Maine to see my cousins. It's my best friend's B-Day. Nancy, a sorrow. Learned this morning that a dear friend had died. Amy, a joy, she, her. Yesterday, I had the privilege and honor to participate in the memorial service for Carol Kirk. Learning about her extraordinary life touched my heart deeply. Quotations, I will. Aradia and Katrina, she, her, share our sick cat has made a joy that their sick cat has made a recovery. Jean, she, her, a sorrow. Sorrow that Indiana has been terminating hundreds of degrees at state universities, many in the arts and humanities, and is the art history degree at Heron, specifically maybe the art history degree at Heron School of Art, where they had taught for a long time. Colleen shares a sorrow that a 41-year-old nephew-in-law had died this week of colon cancer and leaves behind 2 young sons. Colleen, a sorrow, sister-in-law in ICU after cancer surgery. A joy from Jamie. My daughter is here with me today. We've had some participation online too in Zoom. 5, 6 people maybe dropped a stone, but we had a sorrow from Tina just stating that they were sad today, having a hard day. And Betsy, a sorrow, she, her, a worry of cancer for Betsy. Though they may not be shared, we know there are many more joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts and in our minds. Let us pause now for a moment of prayer or meditation. I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Breathe slowly through your nose and listen to your own heart. Blessed be, and amen.
Good morning. I snuck up here, didn't I? So we're going to do something a little bit different for the Words for All Ages this morning. Usually I say that this is a time when anyone of any age who would like to come forward and get a better look can do so. But today I actually need anyone who's here who's under 18 to come and join me. And I promise I'm not going to put you on the spot or embarrass you in any way, but I need your help because we're going to do a little research. So if you're a kid, if you're a youth, I need your help for just a minute here. Thank you, Charlotte, for answering the call right away. I really appreciate it. Hi, Crow. So excited that y'all are here. And we know that you're powerful, so how could there be any research like this that you wouldn't take part in? So what's going to happen is I am going to ask you a couple of questions. And if you're a visitor, this might be a little bit tricky to do, but you can try. And if you're like, I have no idea, feel free to sit in the front row of seats. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'm going to ask you to take some stickers from me. And you are going to go and give a sticker to any grown-up, good morning, my friends, that is the answer to this question for you. And they're going to bring the extra stickers back up here. Ready? Okay. So here's my first question. I want you to give a sticker to any adult who came to church with you today in the same car or bike or on foot with you. Okay, so grab a sticker from me. Any of these colors is fine. Just give a sticker to any adult. And adults, you can put this on your hand, your arm, your cheek. And if your adult is not sitting on the end, the adults on the end will pass the sticker to them, right? Yes, you will. I appreciate that. I realize I've drafted you into this proceeding, but I really need your help. Is yours at the welcome table? No. My mom went to nursery. That's okay. If your parent is in the nursery, that's okay. We will just pretend that they are here. And you are back already. Well done. Okay, when you're done, come straight back, because I have 2 more questions for you. And you can drop your extra stickers in here. Ready? Okay. Everybody get all the grown-ups that needed to be tagged? All right. Now I have these pink stickers for you. Ready? My next question is, any grown-up that you know from volunteering in your RE group, can you please give them a sticker? Anybody that has volunteered in your RE group, they get a sticker. However many you see, look hard, okay? Here, Walter, there you go. Oh, why thank you. Of course I do get one. That makes total sense. Oh, you guys, I'm gonna look like I have chicken pox, but this is kind of amazing. All right, hit me, Walter, I'm not scared. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Anybody, are you still finding people? Yeah, any grown-up that's ever volunteered with you. If you've helped out in class, I guess you could give yourself a sticker, but we are kind of looking for grown-ups right now. This is a test that we're doing here to figure some stuff out. Okay, anybody else got pink stickers left and they are done tagging grown-ups? Awesome. All right. Who's got pink stickers for me? Thank you, Lydia. There's only one question left, okay? This is the trickiest one. I want you to really think about this. Think of grown-ups that you only know them. They haven't been in RE. They didn't come to church with you. You only know them because you've had a nice chat with them in coffee hour, or you've had fun with them at some other church activity besides RE. They get a green sticker. Ready? Anybody, if you ever were at game night or moot, just take them, guys. You don't have to be polite. Grab. There you go. Well, thank you again. Good to know. All right, anybody that you've ever had fun with at church? Nice. Thank you, ma'am. I know some of you are like, how many of these stickers can I take home? Which is also a reasonable question. All right. And when you're done, the green stickers go in the basket. We'll use these again, I'm sure. So don't worry. Please don't take home 85 stickers and drive your adults really, really around the bend. Or stick them on the inside of your car window, which my kids used to do. Yoy. All right. So now, you guys, now you get to see the results of your own work. Ready? Let's look. How many people here have a red, yellow, or blue sticker from bringing a kid to church this morning? Give me a sign. Okay, I see some hands. How many people here have a pink sticker from volunteering in RE? How many people are here today who have volunteered in RE? Okay, how many people didn't get a sticker and volunteer in RE? All right, good to know. Now, How many of you got a green sticker for being a grown-up the kids just know? All right, what happened to our numbers? They dropped a little bit, right? Okay, so the kids for the mailbox ministry this morning, they have these funky bracelets with these little hearts on them for love at the center, but they have two. They have two bracelets in the same color. And your job today during coffee hour is to give one of those bracelets to a grown-up that did not bring you to church today. And from then on, the two of you are gonna try to pay attention and say good morning to each other and say, how you doing? How was your week when you see each other at church? All right, that's the goal. And I'm not coming to RE with you today because I'm gonna stay here and go up there and speak from the pulpit to the adults about RE. So, if your grown-ups in RE need a grown-up, they can ask Stacy, and otherwise, just do your thing. And I will see you soon. Ready? All right, away you go. Bye, Sherilyn.
May your minds be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
That process looks a lot more organized from this end. Some of you know. This is a little different, isn't it? Good morning again. I love saying good morning to you because UU churches have given me a lot of good mornings over the years. I have grown quite fond of UUI. You already know, there are so many people to be fond of in this congregation. And you have in your DNA some of the qualities I have loved most in the churches that have made me who I am. As they say nowadays, we love to see it, and we need it urgently. Members of UUI tell me regularly how important children and youth are to the life of this church. Let's be honest though, a lot of UU churches say that, and even more, don't want to say that they don't say it. But when you say it, I believe you. I believe you because of the percentage of the congregation that volunteers in RE. I believe you because more than half the board volunteers in RE. I believe you because because two different board members who just rotated off came to me and asked to be put on the nursery schedule as the first thing they did after rotating off the board. I believe you because one of your small groups came to me and asked me for resources to engage kids so adults who don't have childcare don't have to miss meetings. I believe you because when adults ambush you during coffee hour and press gang you into chaperoning a middle school trip to Michigan, you go. And this is also why, as your professional religious educator, I'm here for some real talk today. Because you have the potential to be a model across the denomination of how to do it right. And because when I have this many people in one room who get it, I want you to know the stakes. The thing is, UU churches have this tendency to treat children and youth the same way that we treat indicator species, like monarch butterflies. Like, kids, check. Youth, check. Healthy congregation, right? But overall, UU's retention rate of their adult children is low. And there are a lot of reasons why that's the case, right? Next time I might get up here and talk about the theological reasons because they do exist, and I've been hearing about them straight from the kids and youth for 30 years. But today, I want to talk about church culture. Because if there's one thing religious educators know, it's this. The congregation is the curriculum. My husband Bill and I raised our kids in the UU church. We were the family that came early to help set up spirit play and coffee hour. We washed the dishes after the annual chili cook-off. We gave our kids chalice necklaces for solstice. I volunteered in RE and Peace Camp, and we integrated Unitarian Universalism into our homeschooling. We sent our kids to UU summer camp, right? And they grew up to become leaders in local, regional, and national youth culture. Today, all of them consider themselves UU, and as some of you know, one of them just left for seminary. So, when it comes to raising the next generation of Unitarian Universalists, insofar as a family can be proof of concept, we are. But that's not the whole story, because it omits this long series of small, precious moments. Like when 8-year-old Will's mind was blown because he saw our friend Kim pouring water into a hole in the side of the piano. Water the piano? He demanded, like he was flabbergasted. And so Kim explained to him that pianos are made of wood, and wood can dry out and crack, so some pianos have humidifiers built in. And, obviously at this point, Will thought Kim was a piano expert, so it surprised him even more when she said that no, she was just, regular UU like him. Anyone could do such strange and secret tasks around the church if they learned how. Or the moment when 4-year-old Graham discovered the grounds committee existed, immediately demanded to join, and was accepted, as long as he brought Bill with him, right? I already know how to do it, Graham said. I put chairs away all the time. Or the moment when Evan and his friends in the RE room pitched an idea for a new UU holiday, and church leadership supported its development, gave them a slot on the worship calendar so that they could model it for the congregation. Years later, after we'd moved away, they packed up the special candle holder that my father-in-law had made for it and shipped it to Evan when he asked. He just sent me a photo of his apartment in New York, and it's already out on a bookshelf. It must have been one of the first things he unpacked. When I look back at my children's childhood and I trace their Unitarian Universalism to today, sure, I can chalk some of that up to parenting. But I also feel this huge surge of gratitude for Kim and Jack and Dan and Tina, Sunithi and Diane and Tim. We taught our kids about Unitarian Universalism at home. But the people at church, and these are all congregants, folks, I haven't name dropped a single minister, reinforced our teachings with their actions. At the end of the day, when our family discusses what our faith means to us and how it manifests, these are the people who come up, because these are the people who are our church. The congregation is the curriculum. Now, this is not to say that every experience my family had in church spaces was positive, and negative experiences can be similarly instructive. We lived through all the fussy arguments that churches usually have. Do we let kids talk during the Words for All Ages, or does it take too long? We just got new carpet. Should the kids be in coffee hour? They could spill. Like, as we know, adults never spill, right? Perhaps they should eat in the RE room instead. Separate, but equal. And when we moved away from our home church, it was hard. Some of y'all have heard this story about our first time signing up for coffee hour at our new church. I tell this story as often as I do because I've come to see it as emblematic of a wide variety of such moments that I've either witnessed or heard about since. So here's how it went. We signed up for coffee hour right away at our new church because we felt like it was a way to build connection and kind of ease the sting of leaving so many beloved people behind. On our assigned morning, my family started to enter the kitchen, and instantly an adult leaped in front of us and said, "No children in here." That is not an exaggeration. That is literally what happened. And then she pointed to a sign on the wall, and it did. It said, "No children in the kitchen." My kids are pretty resilient people, but I've never seen them so humiliated and shamed, way beyond what I would have expected. I had read Full Circle, and I knew that one of the things lifelong UUs say is that their families prepared them for the messy parts of church life. So I did my best to talk the kids through it, but for them, this still was a landmark moment. Church had always been a friendly place, and I had promised them that that would continue to be true. They had let their guard down, and bam, for years they had dragged us out of bed on Sunday mornings, and just like that, their desire to come to church just tanked. I have never forgotten the way that one incident impacted them, and that moment was a reflection of church culture. Not that it was a bad church, it wasn't, but, and I want you to remember this when we're talking about a right relationship team, by banning kids from the kitchen, that congregation was addressing the symptoms of right relationship problems instead of tackling the problems themselves. And my kids, who were already people with a demonstrated history of being great volunteers, got caught in the crossfire and publicly shamed. It only takes one incident like that for you to lose someone. The congregation is the curriculum. And I have bigger worries even than that, my friends, because my kids have also watched adults pitch genuine fits about things like pronoun stickers on name tags, for example. That church engaged in a transparent process, and yet things went how they went. Within their own area-wide community, the youth had learned how to listen to those most affected, argue and discuss possible solutions, achieve consensus, and roll out iterative changes. But the adults in their home church observably couldn't do it, and that worried them, because when they turned 18 and bridged out of youth culture, where were they supposed to go to church? Say it with me. The congregation is the curriculum. We also sometimes inadvertently cut ourselves off from one another. Theoretically, UUs are not about hierarchies. I know, I really need a drum set in here today. But our churches are democratic spaces, and UUs love science and knowledge, so our historical desire to run RE like a school was grounded in our understanding of developmental stages. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But many UU churches inadvertently created this very hierarchical and siloed RE program that exists separate from the rest of the life of the church. And that's not how a democratic and grassroots community should function if it wants to survive. In practice, it should be more like a skill sharing or apprenticeship program. Now, get a pause right there. How many of you immediately pictured a child apprentice to an adult? Who will admit to it? Okay. So, how many of you came to Unitarian Universalism as adults? Give me a sign. Okay, a lot of people. How many of you did it in the last 5 years? Okay, so there are kids in this church with more experience being UU than you. Our old church was UU Utica, and I've never gotten over that, really. They call their newsletter the U Cubed. It's so great. So there are youth here involved in leadership at the national level where you may not be. There are kids tackling problems in RE that you might not be working on in adult spaces right now. You know what the #1 comment was after the all ages feedback meeting for RE back in May? It was, "These kids are amazing." Like, accurate. I'm not doing this job by accident. Volunteer in there often enough, and you will find that very often positive social diffusion is coming from the RE program. But our community has to be fully integrated in order for us to reap the benefits of that. And yet, being well integrated as a community is still not enough, not all by itself. Once you've fostered leadership skills among children and youth, will you be ready to accept and affirm that leadership? Are you perhaps already struggling to accept and affirm the leadership of adults newer or younger than you? It is understandable. We love our church community, and we invest a lot of time and care in it. We don't want to see what we've built fall apart, culturally or physically. But we got from Calvinism to transcendentalism in 2 generations, okay? So together we can find the way, and it is urgent that we do so. Let me tell you about the very real risks we run when we do not. Most UU churches out there struggle to get enough adults in the RE rooms each Sunday. Like, even here, that is occasionally true, right? But here's the risk. Kids are born into a UU church, and we bless them with roses, and we sing them out to RE, and we marvel at how much they grew over the summer. But in many churches, those kids are getting from birth to adulthood, knowing their parents' friends, and a small handful of our most frequent volunteers. And that is why that sticker activity was so important. Because when they reach adulthood, they look around at our church of more than 200 people and they think, I don't know anybody. And out they go. Do they go to another UU church? Probably not. They don't know anybody there either. We raise such smart, kind kids. Such amazing kids. And oh my gosh, y'all, they are so booked all the time. Academics and sports and music and theater and summer school and international travel. And these things are amazing. They are also exhausting. They are demanding. Once you're in them, they're often compulsory. And what's the next step? Adulthood with all of its demands. My friends, churches worry about metrics and pledges, but let me tell you what I worry most about. I worry about our youth sitting there in their loneliest, most exhausted moment and having no sense of how to go about attending to their spirits. I worry that they will forget to come to us, because why would they come to a place that they already came to for 18 years and departed feeling relatively unknown? I am a Unitarian Universalist because I found us when I was 18 years old. I had left the faith of my childhood, and I knew that was going to have major consequences. I was very alone. And there will always be people who feel that kind of loneliness, who find us. We welcome lost souls who wash up on our shores, but that should not be a reciprocal exchange. We must not fail the ones who are already here. They need to know that they are us, and they are loved warmly and constantly and messily and sometimes crabbily, but always, always loved, vital, indispensable, belonging to any UU congregation the minute they walk in the door, and home, home, home when they are here. We absolutely must not fail to know them and to love them. When it comes to connecting kids to our congregations, all too often I hear, but isn't that the religious educator's job? What an interesting question that is. Friends and neighbors, religious educators have got the pedagogical chops to run a great program. Heck, sometimes we write a great program. But we are here to broker multi-generational relationships, not to serve as stand-ins. I am devoted to this job. I believe in the work, and I have a mighty cohort of colleagues who do too. We spend our blood, sweat, and tears, the money in our wallets, the resources in our homes, and so many of us used to be the Shelbys and Tims and Kates and Marias and Nicks and Ryans and Elenas and Crows of our congregations. Shamefully often, we are treated as though we are single-handedly responsible for getting a church's kids to stick around. And the truth is, we can't do that. We are not youth retention widgets. Every one of us has had children, youth, or parents say to us, "You are the reason I come to church." And that's lovely, right? Except it's not. It's terrible, because it lays bare a lack of meaningful relationships with other congregants. And a community where that's the case is dangerously fragile. Your religious educator cannot fix that. At best, they can stick their finger in the dam. Why? Because the congregation is the curriculum. Nationally, the turnover rate and resulting brain drain among UU religious educators is worryingly high. We burn out, our funding gets cut. Sometimes funding cuts are the explanation, but not the reason. I can think of 3 rock star DREs who've left their churches in the past month. I can tell you firsthand that none of them wanted that outcome. These are people whose curricula and resources we've used at UUI since before my time. These are people who impressed you at GA this year. As far as I know, there are no plans to replace 2 of the 3. Y'all who work closely with me know what I do in a week, and you know whether the congregation has the capacity to pick up that work. What do you think will happen to the families whose primary church relationship was with their religious educator? What does the future of that congregation look like now? We have got to stop planning our own obsolescence. I am telling you, you folks right here are already doing so many things right. On my craziest and most tiring work weeks, I hoard them and I count them up like pearls because they remind me why I'm here. Please take the stories that I've shared with you and store them up in a similar fashion. Make it your point to know every single kid in this church and not just by sight. Remind yourselves why it matters so much that Adult RE runs multi-gen book groups without me even asking. And get yourselves there. Thank the Pagan Collective for welcoming in interested middle and high schoolers and making sure that they have 2 background-checked adults at every meeting. Tell the coffee hour volunteers how much you appreciate that kids are always empowered to serve in that space. Turn up to game nights and movie nights and skills shares. Buy Tim Murphy a pony. Let youth drag you to things and recognize how significant it is that they want to drag you. Invest in right relationship so we have a process for finding solutions when things get messy, and spread the good word to your friends in other UU congregations. The stakes and the rewards could not be higher. The congregation is the curriculum. Thank you.
I'm Leslie Selden, and I'm going to play for you something called the Lover's Waltz. And this is a composition of Jay Unger, who wrote the amazingly popular theme for the Civil War series many years ago, which is called The Shokin Farewell. So I was really excited when I discovered this other waltz that he wrote. Could I hear A? Really not good weather for string instruments. or some of us feel for humans, but you know. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Every month, UUI gives half of the Sunday collection to a cause chosen by our Social Justice Committee. July's Share the Plate is Indianapolis Urban League. The mission of Indianapolis Urban League is to empower African Americans and disadvantaged individuals to achieve social and economic equality. They promote improved quality of life through essential services in education, workforce development, entrepreneurship, health, and housing. You can give on your smartphone by texting the dollar amount you want to give and the word share to a phone number which is in the chat and in your bulletin. You also can give on our UUI website, uui.org. The offering will now be gratefully received. May it be joyfully given. Thank you for your generosity. Our closing words today are inspired from the great law of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. They are keepers of a vision that helped inspire modern democracy. As I read these words, I invite you to close your eyes and open your hearts to this indigenous wisdom. The thickness of your skin shall be 7 spans, 7 generations deep, which is to say that you shall be proof against anger, offensive actions, and criticism. Your heart shall be filled with peace and goodwill, and your mind filled with a yearning for the welfare of the people. Look and listen for the welfare of the whole people, and have always in view not only the present, but also the coming generations, even those whose faces are yet beneath the surface of the ground, the unborn of the future nation. We give thanks to the ancestors for this wisdom. May it guide our hearts. May it be so.
Our closing hymn today is Sung Is Around as well. So we will do the same as earlier. We'll sing it through together once, and then in 2 parts 3 times. Jill will sing loudly with part 1, which is the left side of the sanctuary, and I will also sing loudly with part 2, which will be the right side of the sanctuary. So please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 1023, Building Bridges.
Building bridges between our divisions.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words on the screen and printed on your order of service. Now we extinguish the flame of our chalice, and not the light of our understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep those with us until we meet again.